Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel, where we explore fascinating curiosities and hidden details from the Lord of the Rings and the wider legendarium. If you enjoy deep dives into Middle-earth, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming content. Today's documentary-style analysis will introduce one of the most mysterious figures ever created by J.R.R. Tolkien, Tom Bombadil. This video sets the stage for a full exploration of who he is, why he stands apart from every other being in Arda, and what makes his role so uniquely puzzling. Before we begin, just a quick note. To avoid copyright issues, all images shown in this video were generated by artificial intelligence, which means you may notice small inconsistencies between the visuals and the narration. Also, you might hear occasional narration errors, as we are still testing different AI voices to find the ideal one for our documentaries. With all of that said, let's step into the enigmatic world surrounding Tom Bombadil and uncover why he remains one of Tolkien's greatest unanswered questions. When Frodo and his friends first stepped beyond the Shire, they had no idea they were about to encounter one of the strangest beings in all of Middle-earth. Their journey toward Bree took them through the Old Forest, a place known for its eerie stillness and unpredictable moods. As they ventured deeper, they were suddenly attacked by a Huorn, specifically the Old Man Willow, a malicious tree spirit capable of trapping and crushing intruders. Merry and Pippin were swallowed into its creaking trunk, while Frodo and Sam struggled desperately to free them, even attempting to start a small fire before the tree threatened to tear Merry apart. Panic took over. Frodo ran wildly through the forest, shouting for help even though no one should have been nearby. Yet to his shock, a voice did answer, though not in words he could understand. Someone was singing. Soon a strange figure appeared, wearing a battered hat with a blue feather, a blue coat, boots yellow as butter, and a long brown beard. This was Tom Bombadil. When Frodo and Sam cried out for help, Tom simply raised his hand, and the hobbits froze as if compelled by an unseen force. Speaking in his cheerful, rhythmic way, he asked what troubled them. Upon hearing their friends were trapped, Tom leapt into the air with surprising energy. He rushed to the tree, scolded it as if reprimanding a naughty child, and sang into its cracks. His voice carried a strange authority, and the Old Man Willow obeyed. Merry tumbled out, followed by Pippin, both shaken but alive. Laughing joyfully, Tom brushed off their thanks and invited them to his home for supper. As he sang nonsensical yet strangely powerful verses, he led them to a cozy house, where they met his radiant wife, Goldberry. Frodo asked who Tom truly was, but her answer was cryptic. Tom was the master, not the owner, of the lands, the waters, and the hills. Even Frodo felt the weight of that mystery, and the question lingered in his mind as the evening settled around them. Goldberry's words lingered in Frodo's mind long after she spoke them. She called Tom Bombadil the master, yet insisted he did not own the lands, the waters, or the hills. Her smile had faded when she said ownership would be too heavy a burden, and the uncertainty in her tone only deepened the mystery. Frodo couldn't help himself. He needed a clearer answer. So later, as the hobbits rested comfortably inside Tom's cozy home, he turned to their host and asked directly, "Who are you?" Tom adjusted himself in his chair, looking both amused and slightly surprised. "Who am I?" he echoed. "Don't you know my name yet?" "That is the only answer." Then he began to speak with a quiet gravity that contrasted sharply with his earlier singing. "Eldest, that's what I am. Mark my words, friends. Tom Bombadil was here before the rivers and the trees. Tom remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn. He made paths before the big people came, and he saw the little people arriving. He was here before the kings and the Barrow Wights. When the elves passed westward, Tom was already here. Before the seas were bent, he walked beneath the stars and felt no fear. Long before the Dark Lord came from outside, the room fell silent. Even the fire seemed to quiet itself as Tom's ancient words settled over them. There was something undeniably supernatural about his description, something older than the ages themselves. But Tom Bombadil's most astonishing moment still lay ahead, the one that would forever set him apart from every other being in Middle-earth. It happened when Frodo unknowingly revealed more to Tom than he had ever shared with anyone, even Gandalf. Tom's questions, gentle yet impossibly perceptive, drew out secrets with ease. Frodo found himself speaking of Bilbo, of his hopes, and of his fears. Then Tom suddenly interrupted and said, "Show me the precious ring." Before Frodo even realized what he was doing, he reached into his pocket, pulled out the chain, and handed the one ring over without hesitation. The one ring seemed to swell in Tom Bombadil's large brown hand, gleaming strangely in the firelight. Then Tom lifted it to his eye, peering through the golden circle with a bright, almost playful grin. For a moment, the hobbits saw the absurd sight of Tom's vivid blue eyes shining through the ring as though it were nothing more than a toy. Without hesitation, Tom slipped the ring onto his little finger and held it up toward the candlelight. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Then the hobbits realized the impossible. Tom did not turn invisible. Not even a flicker. He simply laughed, a full, hearty laugh, and tossed the ring into the air. It vanished in a brief flash. Frodo cried out in shock, heart pounding, but Tom merely leaned forward and handed it back to him with a cheerful smile. Frodo examined it closely, half convinced that this must be some trick. It felt the same, weighed the same, and looked exactly as it always had. Yet something inside him bristled. Tom had treated the one ring with less seriousness than someone might give to a misplaced button. Later, while Tom rambled on about the odd habits of badgers, Frodo seized an opportunity. Curious and a little irritated, he slipped the ring onto his own finger. Merry immediately gasped as Frodo vanished from sight. Invisible, Frodo felt a strange thrill as he walked silently across the room toward the door. But Tom Bombadil turned his head directly toward him, his eyes following with unsettling clarity. "You there!" Tom called. "Ah, Frodo, where are you running off to? Old Tom Bombadil isn't as blind as that. Take off your golden ring. Your hand looks fairer without it." A chill ran through Frodo. Even Gandalf, even the elves, none had ever claimed to see through the ring's power like this. And as later revealed at the council in Rivendell, even the wise did not fully understand Tom. Elrond recalled him as Iroer Ben-Adar, the eldest and fatherless. The dwarves called him Forn. Others had names for him as well. Yet none could explain what he was. During the council in Rivendell, the mystery of Tom Bombadil only deepened. Elrond spoke thoughtfully, recalling that long ago Tom had been known by another name, Iroer Ben-Adar, the eldest and fatherless. Even in ancient times, he was older than the old. The dwarves knew him as Forn, while the men of the north called him Orald. Every people had a name for him, yet none truly understood him. Elrond admitted they perhaps should have invited him to the council, but Gandalf immediately shook his head. He would not have come. Arister then posed a reasonable question. Since Tom showed power even over the One Ring, couldn't they send word asking for his help? Gandalf corrected him gently. It is better to say that the ring has no power over him. Tom was master of himself alone. He could not alter the ring or undo its effect on others. He had simply withdrawn to a small realm of his own choosing, boundaries no one else could see, and he did not leave it. Arister pushed further. If Tom could not be harmed within those boundaries, could he not keep the ring safe there? Guard it forever, untouched and harmless? Gandalf answered firmly. Tom would not agree to such a task. Even if all the free peoples pleaded with him, he would not understand the need. And even if he took the ring, he would soon forget it, or more likely toss it aside as something useless. Such things held no place in Tom's mind. That alone made him a dangerous guardian. And so the conclusion was clear. Tom Bombadil might be untouched by the ring, but he could not be relied upon to safeguard it. His indifference to power, while admirable, made him unpredictable. The council had no choice but to dismiss the idea entirely. The tale ended with a simple closing. The video had been divided into 2 parts due to its length, but both segments were already available. As the narrator encouraged viewers to subscribe and leave a like, the story of Tom Bombadil's baffling nature came to its quiet close, no closer to being solved than when it began.